Morning, wildlings. I'm Emma Smallbone. I'm a forest whisperer, and I heal in my ancestors' traditions. This is the way I start every day, sitting in contemplation, connected to the land. And on the days I don't do this, I'm not myself. And I realized that that's what a morning routine is. It's reconnecting with self. And when you're having a bad morning, and when you're starting off, like this morning, I started off pretty rough and I did not want to be awake and I did not want to be a human yet this morning. And I couldn't find anything and I was frustrated and I was stressed out and I was stumbling over my words and I couldn't find anything I needed. And I was going to start my day a different way. And I realized that if I didn't, that this weekend could go very differently. And that that was a choice that I was making. And then when you realize what your part to play in all of it is, and that I can choose to ignore myself, or I can choose to actually reconnect with myself every morning in this quiet contemplation and in my cannabis practice, that I can sit here and reconnect, hello, with Emma and make choices before I even start my day about how I want to feel and how I want to be. And that if I choose to start my days this way, reconnected to myself, instead of waking up, hola, and saying, what does social media have to give me? I'll tell you, the first thing when I hopped on YouTube this morning, the very first video, which is weird to be on my feed, was a Joe Rogan video of Donald Trump. So, hi guys. How do you think my day would have started if I'd watched that first? I probably would have been angry because it probably would have been some aggressive, ridiculous rhetoric. Oh, the crows are coming. What do they have to tell us this morning? If you don't know what a forest whisperer is, I I manage a forest here in Canada, and we cut trees and we plant trees and we um, keep track of all the animals that are here. And then in turn, the forest takes care of me. And our taxes are less because we have a managed forest. So that's how we get to live on this beautiful property. And that's a reciprocity. And that's how I choose to live, in reciprocity with the land. So if the land needs something, we do it. And then the land gives us what we need. And it's beautiful. And this week, the land's given me all sorts. I got all sorts of feathers and porcupine needles I got this week, which was amazing. And of course, we made a whole bunch of cedar bundles this week. And we also pulled vines from the forest, and I'm cutting them up this weekend for kindling. But I also need to clean my garden up. So that's what I'm sitting here. Here, I'll turn you around and you can see. the end of my garden. Doo, doo, doo. So all the beans and um, peppers, beans and peppers are the last things that I have in my garden. So I have to clean those out and put them on the compost for next year's garden. And I've got to think about what I want to do because I think I'm going to quadruple my garden for next year. We're going to have a community garden here. So if you're local, I'm in Puslinch, just outside of Cambridge in Ontario. If you're local, we're going to do a community garden, and we've got like a massive amount of um, land here. This was the experiment. I moved my garden last year, and so we moved it from the back of the property to the front of the property, and this is much better. Um, but a lot of work to be done. So I've got to get going. So think about, we're coming into the slower season. We're coming into the time where our bodies are going to need more sustenance for if you're in the northern hemisphere for the colder weather. So you're probably going to want to be consuming more nutrient dense food because when you're outside, you're burning more calories. But also thinking about in this slower time what you want to work on yourself and what you want to work on with the land. So that's what I think about in these morning moments. And I get myself kind of grounded and I have my mushroom coffee and I absorb some vitamin D because here in Canada we may not be having a lot of vitamin D for much longer. It tends to get a bit gray, and the last couple of years have been very, very gray. So I'm trying to get as much as this as possible. So, where are you guys, and what are you preparing for? If you're in the southern hemisphere, that means that summer is coming. So, how are you getting ready for abundance? And if you're in the northern hemisphere, you're getting ready for the slowdown and to look inward. So, just ask yourself those questions in the morning when you're having your coffee, and it can set yourself up for a completely different day. Instead of grumbling and looking at shit news that you can look at anytime, don't start your day looking at shit stuff. Start your day in a good way, connecting to the earth that provides for you, that provides you shelter, that gives you sustenance, that gives us the energy we need to do the things that we do. If you start your day with nature and in this relationship, and you don't have to have a forest to do it. I have a forest, but you just need to be able to see a plant. Connect in any way that you can with this organism that provides us so much abundance. So, I got to go start my day. Go be wild, wildlings. Go and enjoy nature. Go and enjoy your day because you start it the way you want. You get to choose what you do with your life. You get to choose if you watch the Joe Rogan video first thing in the morning or you sit in contemplation with nature. You get to choose that. So choose the one that's good for you. Hey, if Joe Rogan lights you up and that gets you riled up, hey, if it's a positive thing in your life, go do that. But choose what's good for you first thing in the morning. Choose you first. Do your things first. If you have to wake up 15, 20 minutes earlier to do that, then do it. But choose you. And your days will start so much better. Bye for now, wildlings.